Hello there and welcome into this video, your July energy astrology update for 2025. That's what we're going to be exploring here. But please keep in mind that what I'm going to be speaking of, these themes, these energies, are not simply just this moment in time for this month. We are going to be working and exploring and weaving with themes that are much greater, longer in cycles, although more than likely it's up for July. We're really going to be feeling and questioning, are we safe? Do we have what we need to show up in that most vulnerable way, to show our true selves, to be who we are? Are we in safe environments? Are we in safe relationships? Are the family dynamics actually safe? So this theme of emotions and safety is highly prominent. And I'm going to share with you why and how we can move with these particular energies. Now, if you're new to this channel, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an evolutionary astrologer, which means we go into these bigger and deeper cycles to understand why we are having the particular experiences that we are having. I am also an intuitive, so I'll be bringing in that as well. If you're new to my work, please go to chrissywhistler.com where you can learn more about my offerings. But what I'm actually going to start off with this video is actually asking you for your support. If you find this video or any of the videos, the offerings that I've put out there for you on YouTube for free, please consider donating. Please consider supporting me so I can keep doing this work. I will be bringing in some of my story with safety and being in that void space and that questioning, which is why I'm really coming in and saying, you know what? I actually could use help right now. We are still in this transition period for Sean and his job. And it's been, oh my goodness, a very potent week with those energies, where it's been in this complete void space, where there wasn't any movement. And when there was movement, it was actually like this backward energy. Are we actually going to be held and supported by the divine, by our government? It was even just going through this process of collecting, applying for unemployment for Sean, and he didn't even have an accurate phone number for the company that he used to work with. The number that he had been disconnected. And there was a lot of very defeatist kind of energy that we had to really work through together. And to be honest, this week brought up some very old wounds where it wasn't even necessarily about money. It was about safety. And it was also about self-love and worthiness of actually being safe. And I'm sharing my story as well as I hope that it can be a mirror for you as well. Perhaps what you are going through with this particular moment in time. And I'm going to get into the why of it in just a moment. I actually found myself, when your mind starts to really spin out of control, or not even your mind. This is, for me, these particular wounds. I have my Chiron in Taurus. Venus was right on top of that. These wounds of self-worth and having the resources and the money to survive, to pay rent, like, even though it's not a complete mirror of our situation right now, there's currently very little money flowing in to our bank accounts, so that's true. But it's like, I went even deeper, and it's these core traumas that my soul is holding on to. And this week, even just trying to collect the unemployment and applying for it and being supported, it was like, no, you're not supported. What are you going to do? And I realized as I went into the depths of what I was feeling, and it was a lot. It was a lot. And feeling into that. And I realized as I was sitting on my bed, going into the depth of these stories and these traumas that my soul is holding on to. And because I'm a parent, 2 children are relying on Sean and I to take care of them. That is even sharper. That pain and that uncertainty. And I know even as I'm saying this, I can just feel the collective that's out there right now. And again, the loss of even health insurance, Medicaid, that's trying to be pushed through in the United States right now, or even food assistance. So again, like, what I was feeling is my emotional body, and it's the collective's emotional experience as well. And as I was sitting on my bed, feeling into all of this depth, I realized that this is exactly how my mother felt when I was a child and they almost lost the house twice. And like being at that brink and having these children relying on you to take care of them. And I realized that what I was feeling was my mother too. So the depth of what I'm speaking here, this emotional safety, physical safety is really, really up right now. And believe me, I'm not immune to this at all. And one of the things I realized that I needed to do is to share my story. And I'm actually going to encourage any of you to share your stories as well with the people in your life, and stating your needs as well. And that's why I started this video, first off, asking for a donation. Anything that you would like to give would be most welcome, to have that exchange for this offering that I'm giving to you, and this energy work that is going into this video. And as well to say, I have many readings available. We can go a very deep 90-minute astrology birth chart reading. Those are $200. But if you are short on money, I have a 30-minute offering as well, where I really call that my down and dirty, let's look at the thing that's up for you right now to give you some understanding and some space so you can work with what's happening in your life and why it's happening. And that offering is only $60. So there's options for you, as well as intuitive readings, if that's more your style. So if you have been on the fence about doing a reading with me, I'm actually asking for your support right now. This is a moment in my life where I really could use this deeper exchange. So if you're interested, please consider going and helping me out right now while we're in this transition period, because that's what I can do. And it feels very, it's not my comfort zone at all to speak about myself and my offerings along with that, the monetary exchange. And yet that is also honoring this energy of Cancer. What is it that you need to get to safety, to get to that high ground so you can be emotionally safe and secure? I've got to tell you, I could not have filmed this video several days earlier because I was in such fear. In those stories, in that trauma, I was trying to survive. There was no creativity that was coming out for me in those moments. And I had some very dear friends, Shelley in particular, who really, really held me when I needed it the most. And I'm sharing this with you because this is the antidote for this moment in time. What is it that you need to be safe? You know, obviously, money is a necessary way of being safe in our current civilization and culture. And then there's also much more to that. And what that deeper story is will be different for each of you. So what is it that you need to be safe? To be truly seen and held right now? And then ask for that help. Put it out there of what you need, whether it is direct, person to person, sharing that, I need this, or even letting that universe know, this is actually what I need right now. Please help me. Because we want to create, right? We want to move into this deeper creativity, this self-expression, this, laying the groundwork, this pioneering energy as the world is going through this death throes of the old order. Those of us, and you'll know if it's you, are being called to create something new, to start to put in that new seeds for that civilization. And it's really hard to do that when you are in survival mode. And this is very specifically in that Cancer Capricorn polarity, which is what July is super heated about. right, so let's go ahead and start talking about this story of emotions and our inner emotional story. So we had the summer solstice, which was the June 20th, June 21st, depending on where you live in the world. And that's when the sun enters the sign of Cancer, conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So everything that I'm speaking of when it comes to emotions is going to get blown up. And then we had our Cancer new moon on, oh my goodness, what day was it? On June 25th. And that is going to be setting the seed for this whole moon cycle until the end of July. We are working with the themes of Cancer. And this was again conjunct Jupiter. So blowing up all of the stories of safety. So is it any surprise that for me, on Wednesday, I was in one of those, I like to call them bathroom floor moments, where I'm on my knees and it's like nothing's coming out but tears. And that was the space, that heaviness, that depression energy that I was in moving through these old stories, especially having to do with family and ancestry, which is the opposite sign of, which is Capricorn. So just kind of know that this is big. We also had the asteroid Lucifer is slowly completing its transit of Cancer. So once again, there is this overwhelm of emotions, pushing us to get to that point of almost indifference. Yes, this is happening. I'm just going to push forward anyway. It's very much the energy that I found myself coming into is, okay, this is what it is. We'll somehow survive this, and I just have to keep going forward. It's quite heavy. Now, this is also a story of our collective. Am I safe? For many people, that answer is no. Just tuning into the wars that are taking place, these wars on children and mothers, families, because they're the ones that are actually being harmed and dying and not even being given the physical sustenance that they need to survive. And then as well in the United States, especially here in Los Angeles, there are people who are afraid to leave their homes because of the color of their skin, because they are brown, and they are afraid of getting snatched up, even if they are legal United States citizens. So this energy of am I safe is very potent. I mentioned earlier about Medicare, which is helpful to those who don't have enough money to get insurance or on their own, health insurance here in the United States, or seniors. And if this budget is passed, 17 million people will lose that. And there's this rhetoric of they'll just get over it. They'll be upset at first, but then they'll get over it. This is the energy of Cancer. This is the energy of the distorted Capricorn, of the patriarchy, of misogyny, the story of I'm better than you because of ... Just fill in the blank. We also have Jupiter transiting its own planetary north node right now, which is in Cancer. So we are tuning into a larger, longer story of humanity when we bring in the planetary north and south nodes. For Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, the north node for most of us alive is in Cancer. The south node is in Capricorn, where we have lived eons of lifetimes in this militaristic prison society, this patriarchy, where your emotions, your inner story, this idea of safe space has been completely trampled over, stolen, ripped from us. And there's this need to grow, to evolve into Cancer, that emotional safety and security. So you may be feeling right now these deeper questions of, am I safe to be my unique individual self? Am I safe to go to the beat of my own drum? To trailblaze these new directions that actually honors my inner child, your inner child? Or will the crowd, the group, turn on me? Will it turn on you? For being different, for shining your unique light. So I'm actually bringing in some other astrology themes as well. This is Chiron, the wound, these deep soul wounds. That's Chiron in Aries, conjunct Eris. So it's like going into those wounds where you were not allowed to be your unique self, and that opportunity to grow through them by going into them, to rise up into this truth and this strength. That's what Eris is. She's causing this discord in our lives to get us to wake up, to get us to go into the depths of that pain and to rise anyway, to become that warrior, because we've had those experiences and those wounds, and we can offer that back to others. This is bringing in this initiation of leaders, this birthing of true warriors, true protectors, true defenders. And I'm starting to bring in as well, in addition to Pluto and Aquarius, where the group turns on you for being your unique self. That's some of what we're seeing playing out right now, is that group think. How dare you individuate and go against consensus society to trailblaze in this new future pioneering direction. I'm also speaking about Saturn in Aries next to Neptune. And I'll go into more of those in a moment, but just to bring in as well this story. Am I financially safe and stable right now? Do I have the resources that I need to do the things that I am here to do? If your answer to that is no, again, you are not alone. Uranus is completing his transit of Taurus. Not done yet, not fully until the beginning of next year. But Uranus, that last degree of Taurus, is soon going to be joined by Venus, who rules Taurus. So this can be very much an experience of the rug getting ripped out from under you in terms of safety, resources, money, stability, how you're doing exchange. And this can also be the money coming down from nowhere. Uranus is a very sudden, shocking energy. So just know that it's probably going to be something you did not expect that's coming. And they will be exactly conjunct together on July 4th. And then Venus is going to move into Gemini, and then Uranus will be joining on July 7th. But I'll talk more about that in a moment. All right, so to just bring us back to this story of Saturn and Aries. And again, there is this, we in our world are experiencing a collective meltdown of everything to do with structures, because that's Saturn. This includes governments, all of our institutions. This is going to be including everything with structure. I'm specifically even thinking about our United States Constitution. We are witnessing that it is dissolving. This belief that we have held in our democracy, Neptune, this belief of this structure of democracy, Saturn, is dissolving right before our eyes. It's going away. And there's so much that is being exposed as this is happening. This question that we in the US are being faced with. Are we truly going to honor that every human being has inalienable rights? Or do those rights only exist if you look a certain way? If you are born to a particular family, Saturn, or even to a certain state. If you're coming from a blue state, well, we're going to come after you. We're going to make you pay, because how dare you go against what this administration is wanting? There's that Saturn, distorted Saturn in Aries, that very militaristic energy coming forward. And we are experiencing a complete dissolving of what it means to be the United States. It is a very uncomfortable place to be. And I'm sure for those of you watching, even though you may not live here, experiencing that as well. There has been this belief of what the Declaration of Independence even was. We the people, for the people, by the people. There is a power in that energy, in those words. And there's this necessary confrontation of how those truths are not actually true. And they have not been true. And there's an opportunity to correct that. But again, it's like you gotta see all the shit underneath the surface. And this includes stuff within ourselves. I've been saying this whole time is we need to look within ourselves, and where are we holding those unconscious beliefs towards others or even towards ourselves. Now, I've been speaking a lot about these particular energies and this dissolving at the world stage level, because again, it's coming back to this, well, we're really not safe, are we? Things are dissolving. We are going into the future. Pluto in Aquarius. It's going to be Uranus moving into Gemini. We have no idea what that future is going to be, what these new government structures are going to look like, or even the structures around our belief system. Even religions are going to have their own melting down, dissolving experience. That is what this journey of Saturn and Neptune over the Aries point and back into Pisces is forcing us to go into. Now, Neptune is stationing retrograde on July 4th, which is also the same day that Venus is going to be going into Gemini. July 4th, if you don't know, is Independence Day for the United States. I mean, you cannot make the timing of this stuff up. And as a country, we're going through our own Pluto return, our own Chiron return. Like, it's a thing. This is really big energies that we're going through. But what happens when a planet, especially the outer planets, station retrograde, is their energy is amplified. So all this dissolving that I'm talking about is going to be blown up. We are going to be feeling it. We are going to be feeling it in our core, taking us to very deep in our emotional body, in not feeling safe. We also going to have our Capricorn full moon, so an illumination of these Capricorn themes, especially the distortion of them, and that's going to be on July 10th. Let me just double check. Yeah, July 10th. This will be an echo as well back to 2020, right before the pandemic happened. This is when we had our Pluto and Saturn conjunction, and you all know what we experienced with that. So we're going to have an illumination of even what we experienced those 5 years ago, and even possibly completion is some of those energies. Now, Saturn is also stationing retrograde on July 13th. So once again, these themes, these energies are going to be dialed up. This is a time of powerful initiation that is birthing true warriors. That is what that Saturn, Neptune, and Aries is ultimately doing. So we are seeing this, the shadows, the distortion, the militaristic dominance, and actually going to war with other countries. Again, that's on that Aries point. But this is also about ourselves. Those of us who are hearing the call and are going through these deep experiences, pushing us to stand up, to anchor in, to hold, to protect those who are unable to protect themselves, to speak up for those who do not have the voice, the power to speak up for themselves. That is what this Saturn, Neptune, and Aries is initiating us into. What in you is being dissolved? Where is this great reset happening in your life? These unconscious beliefs that you've been holding, keeping you small, hiding, keeping you from that deep warrior essence that you hold within you. What is that? How is it dissolving? And as it's dissolving, and you may be having your own bathroom floor moments, are you also feeling that strength to stand back up anyway? To stand and to fight. Fighting for those who are unable to fight for themselves and to defend them. Now, this month in particular, you may be called to hold emotional space for others. And that is simply listening to someone's story without judgment. It's inviting them in to sit down and to hold them when they are in their most vulnerable state. And just listen. If there was ever a time to listen to someone's story, it is this month of July. Because again, with all that heightened Capricorn energy, this militaristic trying to take a hold and bring us back into these old cycles, this is going to be very triggering for all of us and for the traumas that are sitting in all the multidimensional fields. And just to speak of as well the silent generation, the greatest generation, they had their Pluto in Cancer. So they had this natural ability to hold, to care for their families, to care for their communities. And yet their evolutionary intention as a soul pod, this generation, was to go out and to defend and protect the world, to become their own authorities through hard work. Capricorn. So we're even having this reverberation, especially with Jupiter in Cancer, back to those times. And it was the hard work and the sacrifice from the greatest generation that gave the baby boomers, the Pluto in Leos who shaped society, that ability to shape society, because they didn't need to worry about surviving. They could just create. And that's what they did, for good and for bad. So just again, know that we're tapping into much bigger themes than you just expect with a Cancer new moon, right? So really ask yourself, how can you provide yourself this safe space? And who is a safe person for you to open up and to share with? Because it's not everybody. I've certainly been really feeling that. There's very few people that I can, when I'm in those vulnerable spaces, that I can share with. Because there are very few people that can go to the depths of where I'm going with my emotions, with what I'm experiencing, and to hold me there. Most people can't do that. It's very surface level, if at all. So I need to connect with people that I actually feel safe with. So who is that for you? And tune into your intuition and your inner child. Don't force it. Listen to yourself. Listen to your story. And again, this very much is about sharing our stories. Who can you share your story with? That will be so deeply healing and supportive at this time, is sharing your story and sharing it in the right ways with the right people who can hold you. Just to bring in a little bit as well, this is probably going to be another video, but as I mentioned, we've got Venus and then Uranus going into Gemini July 4th and July 7th. Uranus and Gemini, oh my goodness, this is going to be incredibly fast-paced. Information getting slammed at us. This many different truths. And what is true? It's, again, Uranus is lightning bolts. And it can come from out of nowhere. This is very much, Uranus has to do with liberation from Saturn. Liberation from consensus society. And where's Saturn right now? Saturn's in Aries. What are we seeing taking place? Oh, there's this militaristic dominance, this pushing, this I want war. I want to dominate and control those who I deem less than myself. Uranus is trying to liberate us from that. So there's going to be, again, this pushing against those limitations that Saturn is trying to bring into. So really bringing in new networks, new people that we can communicate with. I mean, this is fully Uranus and Gemini revolution in all the ways we communicate. And our understanding about the world and how the world works, it's like it's going to be drastically changed, and we don't even know what that is going to be, because it can be so shocking. We don't even know the future is here until it's sitting next to us, and we're like, oh, I had no idea that that's what it's going to look like. So this is a time to really connect us with new people, new connections, new projects, this juggling act between projects and people. different masks that we can wear for this group and this group. And that's kind of some of this energy that's going to be introduced. Very fast-paced technology, innovations, inventions. So as we're going through this great reset and dissolving with Saturn and Neptune, the space is going to be quickly filled with this Uranus and Gemini. Very, very different. Mind-bendingly different. And I feel that this is part of that synergy as we're birthing these new warriors. That Aries energy, those warriors are actually going to be leading us into the future, Uranus. Okay, let me see if there's something else to add to that. Just kind of like, yeah. Just expect, just know that it's coming. Really be mindful when it comes to the news cycle as well. If you are constantly checking what's happening in the news and it's dysregulating for you and your nervous system, try to be aware and just pull back and connect into nature. Sagittarius is the opposite sign of Gemini, so really connecting into nature and trying to see from this higher vantage point, which is what I'm hoping to do with the astrology of what's going on. Not getting lost in all the connections, but pulling back. What is the greater purpose for this experience that we're all going through? All right, so I'll just sort of wrap up to say is we are being very supported by the space weather and the solar energies with this. We've actually in June have experienced 2 novas. It's not a supernova from far out in space, but just regular, smaller versions of a supernova, and it's sending out this blast of energy, and everything in the solar system is receiving that. The sun is receiving it, we are receiving it. So just know that there are these cosmic upgrades that are also happening at the same time that we're experiencing this great reset and these deep questions of, am I safe? And breaking those old stories and moving into this new direction of actually creating safe space and what it is that we need to be safe, and then taking steps to get that or to hold that space for others. So I hope you can see that there is this timing that's taking place. There's this shift in consciousness that is happening at many different layers and levels. We are, just to briefly enter in as well as we get towards the end of July, the sun will be moving into its own sign of Leo. So definitely expect more solar energy ramping up around that time. There are correlations of revolutions during solar maximum, which is where we are at. And boy, the tea is being set. I'm not a golf person, but that's what's coming into my mind to share. Like, the tea is being set for that revolution to happen, or the bases are loaded. They are loaded, and that pitcher on the mound is getting tired, and we are going to have that grand slam coming. It's just a matter of when. We will be entering into a new year, Lord, in the Galactic Mayan calendar on July 26th. We have been in the year of the storm, the rhythmic storm. That's, again, storms are coming in, clearing out everything that is not working in order to bring balance. And then with July 26th, we start a new year, Lord, which is the yellow resonant seed. So that will be the year of really planting these seeds that are holding this new resonance of the future and what we are bringing forward. We've cleared and are clearing and will continue to clear the shit that is not working in society, in our governments, our institutions and structures, and within ourselves. Even with me and being brought to my knees and that deep fear around money and worth and am I safe, I was also really aware that these are stories that I'm still clearing from my system, from the memory that my soul is holding on to, the different levels in my body, my emotional body, my mental body, the ancestral energy, even bringing in and feeling my mother and how much farther back from my mother that story went. Clearing this out, letting it go, witnessing it, holding it, which is that energy that Cancer brings. The ability to hold and to witness. Clearing that out so those new seeds for the future can be planted. So I do hope that you found this helpful and it will give you a compass for you to navigate through this month of July. This is what I'm picking up from the astrology and from when I'm recording this at the end of June. There's much more that's going to be coming. I have no doubt about it. As I said, Uranus going into Gemini. Things are going to come and happen very, very quickly. But I hope that this will give you that grounding and anchoring that you need to move through this with as much ease and grace as possible. And again, if you would like to support me in my work, please consider donating, or please consider going and booking that reading that you have been wanting for a while to do. Now would be a wonderful time to do it. And if not, if you are not able to and you still want to help, please share this video with someone else who you feel could really benefit from these messages. That would help as well. And just know that I am so incredibly grateful to you for being here and for showing up at this time. I know it's challenging. It is a challenging moment in time, and our souls knew exactly what we were signing up for. We were born to be here at this time and to hold this space. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and helping me to hold this intention and these new seeds for the future. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.